So welcome back, guys. It's been a while since I posted a video. I guess a little over 2 weeks here. But these past 2 weeks have been an absolute blur. Every day kind of seems to roll into the next, even though the scenery has been changing. So I guess you're wondering why I did not post a video on the plains or Kansas. I guess that's for two reasons. The one is Kansas was a difficult time, both mentally, physically, and mechanically here for my bike. So I guess I really don't want to remember my time through Kansas. The scenery didn't change much. It was very flat, windy. It had winds basically the whole week. There's maybe one day where I had a tailwind. It was just difficult riding all around. And the second one was because I had so many problems with my bike. I didn't really think to take any footage. That was kind of the last thing on my mind. I was so tense every day. I really wanted to get my bike fixed. A couple broken spokes, flat tires, so on and so forth, that taking footage was the last thing on my mind, as I said. And yeah, it was just it was a difficult time. I just don't really want to remember it. I guess there were really two highlights from Kansas. First one is I met a guy, what was that, in eastern Colorado. I was about 25 miles into my ride one morning when I broke a spoke. It was out in the middle, absolutely out in the middle of nowhere. So I waited around trying to hitchhike, and about 30 minutes later, a guy pulls up. His name's Tommy Quinlan. He was riding from Seattle to Key West. He's a 66-year-old Vietnam vet, 5-time Ironman competitor. Just a real good guy. And he kind of helped me out. He really picked up my spirits. I was feeling pretty low that morning. And he picked me up and let me stay in his motel room that night in Eads, Colorado. And it was just really good company. He was an easy guy to talk to. He's a good riding partner. Just a lot of fun. And I guess the second highlight was in Kansas, in eastern Kansas, outside of El Dorado, Kansas. I broke a spoke on a new rim that I bought about 400 miles earlier. And so I had to ride 70 miles, take a huge detour to try to get to Pittsburgh, Kansas, or Independence, Kansas, to get the spoke fixed. So I had a monster day that day. I was about 109 miles into my ride. Went along US 400. I see a guy pulled over on the side of the road. It ended up being my dad, and he ended up picking me up and driving me to get the spoke fixed. He was down there on business. And that was a great surprise because I was absolutely exhausted from that day. It was hot and nasty, and I was just tired and stressed out. So forget Kansas, on to the Ozarks, on to Missouri. I guess the big highlight was crossing into Missouri. The scenery changed pretty drastically crossing into Missouri. It got a lot greener, much more scenic farmland. Felt a lot like home, actually. It looked a lot like home, with the rolling hills and cows and farms and so on and so forth. So what's there to say about the Ozarks? I guess I've been looking forward to the Ozarks since I left the Rockies. The Ozarks are a series of short mountain range or short hills, kind of running in southern Missouri and Arkansas. It's based to the Mississippi River Valley. So what's there to say about the Ozarks? Hills on hills on hills on hills. Probably the most difficult terrain of the trip so far. Just very steep climbs, 10, 12, 14, even 16% grades, up a quarter mile, down a quarter mile, up a half mile, down a half mile. Just very up and down, very taxing on my body. But at the same time, even though there were hills and challenging terrain, it's beautiful farmland, a lot of greenery. I really haven't seen greenery since Colorado, even before that, California. So it's nice to kind of feel something familiar for once, feel a little bit of life instead of riding through the desert and riding through just disgusting sand and dirt and mud. So I guess some highlights from the Ozarks. First, the Ozark National Scenic Waterway. There's about a 30-mile stretch in southern Missouri where the Ozark Scenic Waterway is, and there's some beautiful rivers running through there, some awesome valleys as you can see here. Just some really awesome views. I wanted to take a rest day in one of the areas to kind of float down, go tubing for a day, but Kansas and Missouri has been receiving so much rain the past 2 weeks. I think one guy told me they received 14 inches of rain last week. The rivers were so flooded, as you can see here, that I couldn't go tubing. The rivers were kind of shut off, so I decided to skip a rest day there. But I was dying to go swimming, so I kept pushing on, and really one of the last areas in Missouri, right before Farmington, there was a little state park called Johnson's Shut-ins. I got to stop off there for an hour or two and go swimming and see some beautiful scenery and cool off on a ride. So that was, I guess, a highlight. Obviously, a big one was crossing the Mississippi River a couple days ago. That was awesome. I feel like now I'm finally back in the East, in familiar territory. Unfortunately, the bridge crossing the Mississippi River to Chester, Illinois, was so skinny that I couldn't get much footage. And it was raining that day, and it was disgustingly humid. But I'm still happy to be over here, kind of back in the East. And that's another thing. Since about middle of Kansas, the weather changed like that. I mean, it's been raining a lot the past 2 weeks, but the humidity has kicked up a lot since about the middle of Kansas all the way down to the Mississippi River Valley. Pretty disgusting. And then finally going through Illinois, and then finally getting to the Ohio River, crossing into Kentucky a few days ago, I guess yesterday. Was awesome. Awesome feeling taking the barge over and kind of realizing that I only have 3 states to go. 3 big states, or 2 big states, but 3 states left. So it's a great feeling. So hopefully I'll get some good footage in Kentucky here. I hope to take a rest day in Bardstown, really the whiskey capital of the world. And I heard Kentucky's difficult. Many people say it's more difficult in the Ozarks, but I think I'm ready physically and mentally, and hopefully my bike can hold up mechanically. And we'll see how it goes. So until next time, guys, we'll see you.